But this alarmism, Professor Plimer, not only is fostered by government, but by the media, by big business, the very big business, and takes over the education system. You talk about murder, it's murdering the intellectual and economic future of young people. And as you say, they terrify children into mental illness with their apocalyptic death cult, lies and exaggerations. How do you address this?
Well, we've had a 50-year dumbing down of the education system. Middle management in business is a product of that system. Our bureaucrats, our politicians, our teachers all came through that system. And that system doesn't teach people about history. It doesn't teach them about geology. It doesn't teach them how to think. It doesn't teach them how to critically analyse. So we now have a society of people who can be fed anything and they will accept it. And they do not have the weapons to be able to counteract the BS that they're fed. There are two ways that this can be addressed, and that is a complete revision of the education system, and that's not going to happen because it's a case of follow the money, follow the power. We've lost our education system. This has gone to the left activists. We've lost our bureaucracies. These are now full of left activists who, rather than fearlessly giving information to government, they operate as activists. We've lost the media. The media now, especially the mainstream media, are basically pursuing activism. They're not pursuing journalism. So I think that the only way, unfortunately, that these problems can be solved is to have a massive financial crisis, another recession, or even a depression. And then people will say, well, how is it? We were incredibly wealthy and we've gone down the path of Venezuela or the path of Argentina. This is where we're heading with high energy costs, losing our manufacturing industry, losing our competitive edge, and pushing people into hopeless unemployment. Well, it's a sad future we face unless we actually stand up and ask people simple questions. Like if they say, well, this is the wettest year we've ever had. The simple question you ask is, show me the evidence.
But see, you talked about taking a simple question. You just talked before then about high energy costs, high electricity. We once had reliable and cheap electricity. Just explain to our viewers what you're saying in your book about what has gone wrong.
Well, what has gone wrong is that coal has been demonised. Now, coal has brought us from peasants into the health and wealth that we enjoy in today's world. We now have greater longevity, better food, better conditions of living, travel, that no other generation has ever had. If we look at the last 20,000 generations of humans, it's only the last 4 generations where we have had an increase in longevity. And we've gone from 25 years to 78 years globally in 4 generations. That's due to coal. Coal has brought us out of misery, and it's doing the same thing for China. It's bringing Chinese peasants out of misery. So coal has saved us, but coal has been demonised because it is burnt, and that produces carbon dioxide, which goes into the atmosphere. And of course, we all know that causes warming. Well, show me the evidence. No one's ever shown that human emissions of carbon dioxide drive global warming. So we've demonised the coal industry, and if we make a large capital investment for a coal-fired power generator that operates 24/7 and has a 50 or 70-year life, then it will make money and it will be able to keep the wheels spinning in an industrial economy. But what we've done is we've pushed coal out of operating 100% of the time by having unreliable solar and unreliable wind. This has made energy much more expensive, and we know from what Denmark and Germany and others have done, every time we increase the number of wind and solar facilities into the grid, the electricity price goes up. It doesn't become cheaper, it becomes more unreliable and more expensive. So coal was the perfect energy to bring us out of a civilization where there were the elites and the peasants. And this is where we're going now.
Absolutely.
We see that there's a political elite growing, and the rest of us are becoming peasants.